Larry David is using his pen to point out what he sees as Bill Maher's misguided meal with the president and his even more misguided monologue to...
Dude, did you see that? Like Larry David, look at that headline. My dinner with Adolf. Now, that is mincing no words, dude. Larry David, like pulling it out. He did not have the Bill Maher, Trump is a real good guy experience. That's some fucking, that's feisty right there, dude. Yeah, Bill Maher is a kiss ass. Dude, because no matter what, Donald Trump has had enough. He has emulated enough of the Nazi behavior that I have no problem calling Donald Trump a Nazi. No problem. I wouldn't call somebody like Mitt Romney a Nazi. You know, I wouldn't call Kevin McCarthy a Nazi. I wouldn't call Rand Paul a Nazi. You know, I'll call Donald Trump a fucking Nazi. I will call Elon Musk a Nazi. I will call Stephen Miller a fucking Nazi or Tom Homan. But not everybody is, you know, Nazi behavior. But Trump is right up there, boss.
His misguided meal with the president and his even more misguided monologue to defend that dinner. Here I was, prepared to meet Hitler, the one I'd seen and heard, the public Hitler. But this private Hitler was a completely different animal.
Larry David, the creator of Curb Your Enthusiasm, is not enthused about the fact that comedian Bill Maher decided to have a sit-down conversation, a private conversation with President Donald Trump. Now, Bill Maher has been highly critical of Trump. He has not been a friendly broadcaster toward Trump. But nonetheless, just yesterday, Larry David published a parody of Maher in the New York Times titled, Larry David, My Dinner with Adolf.
See, again, I take issue with the framing right from the get-go because they consistently, TYT frames it that you're mad because I went and met Trump. And it's like, no, nobody is mad that Bill Maher went to meet Trump. They are mad that Bill Maher went to meet Trump and then came back with some apology tour for Trump and sort of like stoking down the flames of his danger, coming back from the dinner and saying, wow, Trump is just really harmless. You know what I mean? And the critical of Trump, that's a stretch, dude. Bill Maher has may have made fun of Trump in some jokes, but he certainly has not been critical of Trump. He has platformed all the flunkies. Remember Bill Maher and Elon Musk? They were laughing about how slavery is all over the Bible. Why are people upset about slavery? Remember that shit? Like, come on, man.
So he's drawing parallels between Trump and Adolf Hitler, obviously here.
Yeah,
and
which is accurate. And Anna gets mad about that.
Understand what David is getting at. Let's actually discuss how Maher's dinner went, or more importantly, how Maher described his dinner with Donald Trump on his HBO show, Real Time with Bill Maher. So he said, quote, I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around Trump. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them. The way I was able to talk with Donald Trump, that's just how it went down. Make it what you will. It's emblematic of why Democrats are so unpopular these days.
See, this is fucking bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. I wouldn't walk on eggshells talking to Clinton or Obama. Why would Bill Maher walk on eggshells talking to them? Right? And saying that the fact that Clinton and Obama are impossible to talk to, but Trump is just such a great guy. This is why the Democrats are unpopular. Like, dude, he's reframing for the 100th time. The Democrats are unpopular because we're mad that people are doing this fucking shit. That they're not taking a fight to Trump, that they're sane washing and whitewashing his bullshit and covering for him like they did the whole election. That's why Democrats are unpopular, because we want somebody to take a 9-iron to his fucking dome, bro. And there's no fucking way that you can tell me you wouldn't rather be hanging out with Obama than Donald Trump. Dude, this is some horse shit.
He continues, there were so many moments when I hit him with a joke or contradicted something and no problem. At dinner, he was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran. That's definitely concerning. In a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy. I want your opinion sort of way. And I said, well, obviously you're privy to things about it, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to stop. I do not want Trump to take advice from Bill Maher on anything pertaining to the Middle East, but let me continue. But for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him, but we got rid of that. You got rid of that. He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. Finally, he says, you can hate me for it, but I'm not a liar. Trump was gracious and measured, and why he isn't that in other settings, I don't know and I can't answer. And it's not my place to answer. I'm just telling you what I saw and I wasn't high.
See, there's the thing, right? He's like, oh, let me just tell you, Trump is gracious and measured. He was so nice. He was so good. He was so attentive and sharp and together. And like, I don't know why he's not like that in other places, but let me just tell you what I saw. I saw Trump's a really good guy. But you know for a fact, okay, you know for a fact that whatever graciousness Trump was doling out that night was a fucking schmooze fest. And Maher didn't even come back being like, God damn, he was trying to be all gracious and schmoozy. God damn, he's transparent. How fucking fake he is. Like the guy who was like turning on the charm, hoping I would come back here and give him a good book report. You know, like, come on, man.
So before we get to Larry David's, parody response to all of this, Cenk, what are your thoughts on Bill Maher's take here?
Yeah, no, I agree with Bill Maher. I think you should go to meet with him, and I'm glad that he put in a vote for, getting back into the Iran nuclear deal that Obama had and not going to war.
Let me just ask you, who among us believes that we are getting back into the Iran deal, right? While Trump is president. Who among us thinks that's going to happen while we have, Skippy, the fucking Christian Crusader tattoo running the DOD, and right? Like, bro, come on now. And again, this is Cenk Uygur doing his little thing where he's like, man, I'm really happy that we're showing progress, right? Oh yeah, somebody said we should get back in that Iran nuclear deal. I think Trump may have heard him this time. Dude, Cenk is like a battered dude. He's like, he's going to be nice to me this time. He's really going to mean it when he gives me roses this time. Dude.
So obviously Bill Maher and we disagree a lot on Israel, but apparently we agree on that. And since Donald Trump cares a lot about what people on TV think, that's not just one vote, that's a lot of votes in Donald Trump's mind against war. So I'm glad that Bill did that. I thought Larry David's op-ed was really clever, funny, effective, and I totally disagree with it.
You disagree with it? Okay, interesting. Yeah. I mean, look, it's actually not that interesting. I totally suspected that would be your take. So look, Larry David, not a fan of that monologue from Bill Maher or his willingness to go speak with Donald Trump. So let me give you a few excerpts from the op-ed, the parody op-ed that he wrote in the New York Times. He says, I had just been a vocal critic of Hitler's on the radio from the beginning, but eventually I concluded that hate gets us nowhere. I knew I couldn't change his views, but we need to talk about the other side, even if it has invaded and annexed other countries and committed unspeakable crimes against humanity. I mean, Barack Obama literally assassinated an American citizen in the Middle East. He was a suspected terrorist, but.
Dude, look at that. Wow, she's like defending Trump with an attack on Barack Obama. Wow, that is crazy. This is our progressive news network, people.
So look, I understand where Larry David is coming from. because Trump does not have a spotless record at all.
That line kills me. Does not have a spotless record. Dude, that is some real favorable language to use for a guy who has been, criminal disaster in power. But she shortened it to does not have a spotless record. Dude, what the fuck are we watching, bro? Dude, they are now officially Trump shills. They are like hard shilling. They are hard shilling. Like this is a shill, dude. That's how she summed it up. Trump does not have a spotless record. Dude, hold on. Let's look at this clip real quick. We're going to interject here. Now would be a good time to look at this clip.
Donald Trump said that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our nation. That specific quote is only used so far in world history by Adolf Hitler and Donald Trump. That's him saying, look, don't say I didn't warn you. I used literal Nazi quotes, and I had dinners with Nazis, and I said that there were not good people on Nazi side. So we have to beat Trump. We have to beat Trump.
So there we go. That was a year ago that Cenk acknowledged the Hitler comparison and the reality. I mean, dude, Trump's entire foreign policy is Hitler. It is. It's, there's a Gestapo. They're using any method they can to suss out people of this specific foreign origin. They're shipping them to third-party prisons in foreign countries when no crimes have been committed. They're using subterfuge to grab even people who've done nothing wrong. They're not grabbing criminals, right? They're talking about imperialism. We're going to take that country no matter what. I mean, dude, the anti-trans propaganda and the assault on trans people and the overdoing of executive orders and threatening, using the military in the home country, ignoring constitutional orders from the courts. I mean, everything about it is like right in line with the Hitler playbook. And Cenk recognized that a year ago, but now, I mean, I guess a year of no YouTube income starts changing things.
I understand where Larry David is coming from because Trump does not have a spotless record at all. But at the same time, I just find it so interesting how all these big public figures, especially entertainers, seem to think that the Democratic Party is squeaky clean when in a lot of cases they have carried out atrocities of their own, in Democratic administrations. But since they smile and they come across as professorial and professional, they're the good guys.
Dude, there has not been a single Democratic, as far as war shit, every administration has done war shit or supported Israel or turned their back on, African countries that are in civil wars or people being genocided. That's a given. America's genocidal warmongering is something. But this idea that Democrats have not committed any atrocities at home. They have not targeted American citizens en masse at home. They have not restricted or removed American civil rights at home, ever. And to agree with what I'm seeing in chat right now, why are they talking about Democrats? We're supposed to be discussing Donald Trump here, but why is the defense of Donald Trump being well, the Democrats are bad guys too? The Democrats are so bad. You know what I mean? Are we talking about the failures of the Democrats or are we talking about Donald Trump being Hitler? The two are unrelated, okay? Even if the Democrats were the worst toxic motherfuckers on earth, that doesn't give Trump the right to be Hitler, I mean, come on.
Whereas Trump, yes, I get it. The way he speaks is grotesque at times. He doesn't hide what he actually thinks.
The way he speaks is grotesque at times. No, Anna, it's not the way he speaks being grotesque. It's the fact that he outright lies. Trans people are living in fear because he literally told the country that trans people were going to cut their kids' dicks off at school. And he did that repeatedly. That's not grotesque at times. That's willfully endangering millions of fucking Americans with complete and utter lies that's causing like young red-pilled men to like foam at the mouth. Like, what are you fucking talking about? And at times, dude, she is shilling hard, bro. Anna's like, she's gonna need a fucking, I hope one of the interns brings her a towel. All right, because Anna's gonna need a cleanup. Jesus.
And just says it like it is. And that
says it like it
honestly
is.
offends the sensibilities of a lot of people. But that's not to say that he, in some ways, he is worse, right? But I have a problem with like the.
In some ways, he is worse. In some ways. Dude. Sorry, Anna. This is a keeper. In some ways, bro. Oh, Lord, dude.
I get it. The way he speaks is grotesque at times. He doesn't hide what he actually thinks and just says it like it is. And that honestly offends the sensibilities of a lot of people. But that's not to say that he, in some ways, he is worse, right? But I have a problem with like the whitewashing of the crimes against humanity that were committed by the other side of the political aisle as well.
So I love that Bill Maher went there, and I'm actually surprised at his opinion on that, but very pleasantly surprised. And so that's great. That's why, by the way, you never shut down speech, because you never know who's going to help at what time. You know, we're all human beings with a real interesting variety of opinions here. And so lastly, in terms of why I think it could help is, look, Larry David makes fun of Bill Maher in that, he thought Trump was funny and more open to him than the Democrats. Ha ha ha, because Trump is Hitler. But wait a minute, that's not what Maher is saying. Maher is saying Democratic officials in government, not just officials, but candidates and politicians would be better served to be as personable as Trump is. Because even though Trump does all these terrible things that we call out, that Bill Maher calls out.
As personable as Trump is not fucking personable. He's fucking disgusting.
He wins elections by being personable. He's trying to give helpful advice to the Democrats.
He wins elections by being personable. Dude, he wins the elections by lying and cheating, manipulating fake flyers, sending one flyer to the Jewish people in town, the other flyer to the Palestinian people, setting them against each other, convincing Muslim leaders to back him and then turning his backs on them, paying off porn stars, his buddy buying a fucking social media network. Like, goddamn, bro, what is he doing, dude? Now I'm getting pissed.
And politicians would be better served to be as personable as Trump is. Because even though Trump does all these terrible things that we call out, that Bill Maher calls out, he wins elections by being personable. He's trying to give helpful advice to the Democrats, so hey, that you might be able to beat guys like Donald Trump.
Not allowed.
But if you do anything that is open-minded in any way, shape, or form, or try to influence the Trump administration or the right wing in any form, there are folks like Larry David, who I really respect otherwise, who say, nope, that's it, you're helping Hitler, and that's anyone talking to the right wing ever is helping Hitler, and that is.
See, that's not true. Sam Seder goes on these shows. Nobody accuses Sam Seder of helping Hitler, but Cenk, look at what you just did, bro. You just basically denied all of the nefarious and illegal shit that Trump has done in order to win elections, to eke them. Okay, he didn't even win the popular vote the first time. And there was multiple scandals with Russia, with the media on Hillary, with him paying off the porn star. Okay, and this time there was a lot of voter disenfranchisement for people getting kicked off rolls. Elon Musk giving away $1 million a day. You're acting like Trump won because he's some personable great guy. The entire fucking country was like, dude, this guy's disgusting. He's talking about Hannibal Lecter and fucking windmills and what's his name's fucking penis, dude, the golfer. I can't even remember. Dude, Arnold Palmer's dick, right? And filleting the microphone. And you're saying that he was like charming and personable. You're actually suggesting that Democratic politicians be more like Trump, and you think they would win? Like, who the fuck are you, bro? You think the Democratic Party, you think we want a fucking shit-eating clown car like Donald Trump? Dude, what is he doing, bro? What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.